In part one, we made a complete set of ears with this frozen fabric, minus the embellishments. So I showed you how to make everything minus the embellishments and minus the bow. So I want to show you now how to make the bow. Here's just my evolution of the ears. So we used the original Disney Parks ears as a template. So I used this as a guide. These are my homemade ears. This is my bow. We already started making bows for another set of ears, and now I'm going to do this again but opposite. So now I'm going to make a bow with this fabric, and then I'll make ears with the polka dot fabric. So let's get started. First I'm going to need my template. So I cut my template out of a grocery paper bag, and this is durable, so this is going to last me a while. And the length that I made it was 7.5 inches wide and 13 inches long. And I made a little note here just to keep everything together, and I don't have to make another template for this. The batting for the interior of the bow, because inside is padded, is 5.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So first I start by cutting the fabric for the bow. So like I said, I'm gonna make it opposite now. I'm laying my fabric down backwards, or actually like the face is down. And let me measure here. And I'm just making rough markings. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so this is our, I didn't make it a perfect cut, but that's fine. So this is our, so now I got this cut. If I have to cut anything else, I'll deal with this in a minute. So I already cut out the batting, and I'm just gonna measure it for you so that we're sure that the batting is 5.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So 5.5 inches, 3.5 inches. We're good. So what we're gonna do now is lay our piece of batting in the center. Just make sure it's in the center, and then we're gonna fold it, just snugging the batting. So just gently snugging it, and I get on this side. And then we're gonna do the same thing over here. We're gonna fold this over. So what I'm doing here is I'm kind of tucking it in a little bit so that, to make this a little more narrow, so that I don't have little peaks sticking out of the bow. See, so now it's like envelope, it's like a little envelope. And I'm gonna do the same thing over here carefully. And then I'm gonna fold it over, just snugging the batting. So we folded this up. So now I'm gonna glue this down so it doesn't move around too much. So it's just, I'm just gonna add just a little bit of glue. I'm not gonna put too much, it's just a little bit so that it holds, and I don't have to worry about it. And let's see here. There you go. See, so just a tiny bit. And there's your perfect little pillow for your bow. I'm gonna set this aside. Now we're gonna make the ribbon in the center. And this is a different little step. So I'm gonna cut a strip out to make the inner ribbon, and I don't need very much. This is gonna be enough. And I don't measure it to perfection. I just kind of cut what I think I'm gonna need. So I'm just gonna cut this little strip here. Oh, here's my strip. This is gonna be the outside. So this is how I do this. You're gonna love this. I use double-sided tape. But this is how this ribbon comes out so perfect. Because with the double-sided tape, I can use it as a guide, and it stays nice and stiff. You don't have to worry about sewing or doing anything crazy like measuring, or worried about how your fold is gonna be. You hope that it lands right. So with this, I tape this down to the back, and I'm gonna use the tape, the edge of the tape, as a guide. It's gonna just tell me where to fold. So then I lightly fold this over, fold over the fabric lightly, and then I go in and smooth it out. So here I have way too much fabric. I knew this was gonna happen, but it doesn't really bother me, because I just go back and cut a little bit more off. So here we go. We cut off a little bit more so that we don't have too much excess fabric. And then now I'm going to do the same on this side. I usually start in the center and just lightly tap it over. And here you go. So let me show you closer. So I just folded everything over, and here's your ribbon. And that'll be the center. So I'm gonna set this aside now, because I'm gonna use that in a minute. Now let's make our bow. I'm gonna set this one here so that we can use this as a guide. And I'm gonna put this here so that, again, you can see what we're aiming for. This is the back of the pillow, the front. So what we want is this crease in the center, and then like those two little interior parts. So we want to fold it up 3 times. And this crease in the center, this is how you do this. Turn your little pillow backwards. So this is the back of your bow. And I'm going to fold it. I'm going to fold it in once. That's going to be, so this little fold is going to be this part of your bow. So here's this one fold. Then you're going to go back, fold it one more time. Wait a minute. Sorry, let me do this again because I folded way too much. So this is your fold. And then now we're going to take this piece, fold it over one more time. And you have to keep it in place. Like pinch it, make sure it doesn't move. Turn it over. And then now I'm going to fold this half and half again. So then now this is our bow. And keep it pinched in the center.
I need to put on the ears, okay? Wait, I need to put in the bow. Okay. Stop.
I'm not putting the bow on yet. So now this is where it gets a little bit tricky. This is where you're gonna have to do a little bit of playing around with this, because you want to make sure that you're pinching the center of the bow so that you have the same amount of bow, I guess, on each side. So that looks pretty good. See, and that's gonna be our ribbon. So this looks good. So then now what we're gonna do is shove your glue gun in the center, in between the crease, and pinch it. And then the same thing over here. Just shove it in there, pinch it, then hold it for a little bit. So yeah, it kind of looks funny right now, but once you add your ribbon and once everything is, you've got the whole setup going, it looks great. This is perfect, no sew. And at first when I was doing this no sew, or experimented with doing this no sew bows, I thought it wasn't gonna work. I said, no, this is not gonna happen. A no sew bow and a no sew Mickey ear? No. No, but it looks great. I'm so happy. I'm so happy with it. Okay, so here we have our bow, and now I'm gonna attach our ribbon. So I like to start on the bottom. So I decided this is gonna be the bottom. So I'm just gonna add a little dab of glue here. Yeah. Just hold it. And then the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna tightly move this, just wrap it around the bow. And then we're gonna glue it back right above the, where we started with this ribbon. Okay, so that's ready. And I'll keep this on until the very end and just remove, or snip off whatever I need to snip off, or attach it to the headband. And here you go. So then we made this one before. Look, this is the one we just made, and look, it's the same size. Let's compare it to this ear, and look, same size. It just kind of looks off when you're doing everything separate like this, but there you go. Hopefully you liked this video, and hopefully you found it helpful. And if you do have any questions, you can read in the comments below. I'm going to detail how to do this, just step by step. And please give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to follow, because I'm always posting videos like this. And this is part 3 of the series of how to make these Mickey ears. So part 1 is the complete ears. part 2 is the ears prep. So you're gonna see me making the ears, complete with the batting and the interior. So this is gonna be the ears prep, that's part 2, and then part 3 is this one, the bow. So keep watching and look out for more of my videos. Thank you so much.